Lee Cola Flipper sent me a picture of what he found today.
I've seen that.
Oh, what did you find? What did you find? I will watch it.
It's a broken pair of things, but it's very much worth fixing because their original price was over.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm a bit shell shocked at the minute. I couldn't get out of the car straight away because I've still got wobbly legs. I've had one of those Antiques Roadshow Fabergé egg type moments at the car boot today. I often try and pick up stuff worth hundreds. On occasion I pick up things that cost thousands new. Today I picked up something very small that's new, would have cost tens of thousands of pounds, and I picked it up at a car boot sale. Yeah. Hello, my name is Lee and welcome to my channel Cola Flipper. I'm a UK eBay reseller. I buy second-hand items at car boot sales and charity shops, and I flip them online for a profit. As you've probably seen from my little intro in the car, I've had a hell of a day today. It was genuinely one of those Antiques Roadshow type moments when you see someone who bought something at a car boot and it turns out to be worth thousands. That's happened today, and I'm still gobsmacked. It's like 6 hours later and I still can't quite get my head around it, but I'm going to hang it out a little bit and I'm not going to show you straight away. I'm not going to tell you if it's at the start, the middle or at the end of the video, because I don't want you just skipping there. But I've had a damn good day at the car boots, so yeah, I'll go for the haul and I'll tell you a little bit more about this bad boy in a little bit. So first item isn't really an item to sell on, it's just really a reseller tool. Whilst I've got decent proper lighting setups for my photography, someone was selling one of these little ring lights. So it was only £3. Brand new, it's a tenner, so nothing special, but it just means that if I'm doing close-up photography, so if anything like jewellery or watches or anything like that, I'll be able to get a much nicer photo. So these are only a tenner at B&M anyway, but for £3 that's exactly what I need to do some close-up photography. So great little reseller tool there. Got a couple of different pairs of shoes. First set was a great one, so mint velvet. It's a logo there. They are a high-end, high-street clothing brand for, well, I don't know if they do men's as well, but typically women's. And whilst I wouldn't say always pick up everything mint velvet do, generally it's high-quality items and they're generally quite expensive. Now this is a pair of boots, that new, £149. The box is tatty, but the boots are brand new and unused. Colour might be a little bit off because I've got daylight out there and I've got a LED there, so it may not quite look right, but these are sort of a creamy beige. Yeah, so 150 new, proper stacked leather heel, zip on the inside. So yeah, 150 new. I have been selling new sandals that I picked up at a car boot recently, or last year, sorry. I've been selling them for between 40 and 55 pounds. So £7 out, should easily be able to get 50 for the brand new shoes. I will probably aim higher and take a sensible offer. So really happy with that. If you've seen my channel before, you'll know that I'm a part-timer. And if you haven't, I'll explain. Basically, I only have about 10 hours a week I can dedicate to reselling, which means that I don't have time to muck around with lower priced, lower profit items. With the amount of time that I've got available to me, I need to stick to items that make me at least £20 after fees. So typically, unless the exceptions are for something very small or something that I can flip very quickly. but otherwise I try and keep to £20 profit minimum. Next item was this, and this is a Ted Baker parka. So nice parka. Always whenever you're buying a coat, check the zips work. So I check the zips, always check under the armpits for tears, both inside and outside. Check the cuffs for wear. This is actually in very good condition, and I only paid £5 for this. So I didn't do any comps. Ted Baker stuff can be a bit hit and miss depending on what it is and what the style is, but for £5 for a parka coat, you literally cannot go wrong. Due to the time of year, it may take me a little while to actually shift this, but it's not a problem. At £5 out, there's something in the pocket here. Hold on, what have I got? Got something free. Tissues. Piece of foil. Carmex lip balm. Oh, 50p, 60p. So, I would call that a win. So it hasn't even cost me £5. Very happy with that. Right, what a day. We're doing very well. So yeah, easily I'll make my £20 profit. I haven't actually looked at comps. Ted Baker dresses I've been selling regularly for around the 35 to £40 mark. You don't always get as high as you'd expect with the new price of Ted Baker, but for something like a coat, coats tend to hold their value better than other items. Other bits and pieces before I get onto the really good stuff. A couple of pairs of boots. Now, these ones, these are a pair of Caramels, and these are brand new. Paid £10. I paid the price on the side, and I think they're a tenner because I think they're seconds. There is a tiny little bit where you can see a little bit under the stitching. I don't know if you can see that. Just there. So I reckon these are seconds, but at £10 out, I still think I should be able to flip these for at least £50. These are a Snowfur 2 WT Black. It's a decent men's size, UK 9. I wouldn't have thought I'd have any issue with getting 50 for these. I do need to look at comps. Potentially it could be a fair bit more. So I'll have a look to see if that seconds bit, if there's anything I can do to sort that out, but otherwise I'll just have to declare it. But that, I think, was a tenner well invested. The only other thing I picked up at that stall, something personal, little canvas wash bag, and what I wanted was basically something to put on my computer, my laptop cables in. So I just needed something little and neat to pop it out of the way. So 50p, that's something that's just damn useful for me. Okay, these, never heard of the brand before. These are by a company called Skeetex, SKEE-TEX. Now, the reason I picked these up was they looked in fairly good new condition, minimal wear on the sole. These ribs reminded me of duck boots by LL Bean. So I tend to, anything that looks like a duck boot, I'll tend to go and have a look. And again, it had a very thick insulated lining on these. And it just made me think they're a little bit, they're not quite wellies, they're like an insulated wellie. But on the label, it says Skeetex, Essex, UK. So I don't know if that means I'm made in Essex or it's just a British company. But I tend to think that if something's made in England, because of the cost of manufacturing here is going to be higher than overseas, it's going to be more expensive. Now, I haven't actually checked to see if these are made here or just it's a British company, but I had a quick look. I had a look, left them, went and did a quick check on my phone, looked at sold comps, and it looked like they were selling between 45 and 65. So I thought that's definitely worth a punt. Went back, asked how much he wanted, and he wanted 15. I offered 10. We did the dance and we settled on £12.50. So at £12.50 out, somewhere between 45 and potentially up to 60, that seems like a reasonable return for me. So yeah, decent looking boot. So and that's a size, it says 41-42 on the base. So yeah, quite happy with those. The guy, he had lots of fishing gear, so I'm assuming that he wanted something that was waterproof and sturdy for fishing in the winter. So they are great. Now, pretty much, oh no, I've got one more thing before we go on to the everything I bought again at one store. So right, let's grab this and this. As you can see, it's inside out. What I tend to do, if I've got something that looks like it could get marked, don't know if you can see with the light there, this is a polka dot blazer, and this is by Hobbs. Now, I've been tending to try to stay away from white clothing because it's usually stained, but when you see a Hobbs blazer at a £5, it's a pretty good deal. Most Hobbs stuff I can flip for tops, so just jumpers, a Hobbs ladies jumper, somewhere between 35 and 55 pounds. So with a blazer, nice classic style on it, I should be able to get somewhere around the £50 mark, I would have thought. Just bring it up so you can actually see it, because the light's really bad there. Let's have a look. So you can see a little bit better there. So probably a second, because you can see there's a little red blob in the middle of that. It's a size 10 Hobbs, but that's quite nice. And that, yeah, I would have thought somewhere around the £50 mark. I'll probably pitch it higher and see where it lands depending on the interest. But I thought that was a safe buy at £5. Can't really go wrong there. Now everything else, pretty sure everything else came from one store, and it was he said he was in house clearance, and that he had basically cleared out for a millionaire. And I got to be honest, everything I hear at a car boot sale I take with a pinch of salt. You'll always have people saying, oh, it's brand new. Today I looked at, there's a really expensive looking one of those tabletop grilling machines. Oh, it's brand new, you never used. Open it up and you can see that there's food remnants in there and grease. So people do not tell you the truth. So when someone says, oh, I've done house clearance for a millionaire, take it with a pinch of salt. I do not believe a lot of what I hear at a car boot sale. So it's difficult, and that's where I got these from. So I'll show you those in a sec. But my oh my, did I do well at this guy's stall. So on to the big hitters. All of this is off one table, and this is the guy who said that he was clearing out for a millionaire. Now, on his table, what I first saw, he was tucked away right at the back, and I saw immediately a couple of pairs of Jimmy Choo ladies shoes, and I saw a pair of Christian Louboutin shoes. And the Jimmy Choos I know were real because I've had experience of buying and selling Jimmy Choos before. I've seen them in the shops. I know the quality of the manufacturing, the techniques of manufacture. I can tell they were genuine. And he was asking £60 a pair, which was just not worth it for me. But I could see they were real. But there was also other stuff on there which I wasn't 100%. There was some brand new Moncler sunglasses, and I wasn't 100% sure they were real. So it almost looked like he had a mixture of genuine stuff and some moody stuff, and whether he was trying to pass it off as genuine or whether he just didn't know, I don't know. I was unsure. So I was looking through his stuff and I noticed some Max Mara sunglasses, and I've done well with Max Mara clothing before, and I thought these were quite cool. They've got a cool sort of leather style. Let's see if I can make it closer. I'm not sure if that's going to focus. But he wanted a tenner for these, which I thought maybe that's a bit much, but they were brand new, looking good. And then I noticed on the floor these. and I have another pair of these so I could in my head mentally compare whether I thought they were genuine or not, and they do look the real deal. These are Stuart Weitzman knee-high boots. If you look at my intro titles at the start, you can see the other pair that I bought previously, and they're around, what was it? Was it 700 quid? Yeah, expensive. So these knee-high boots, and they look identical. These have been used, but they're in good condition. And you can see on this sole there's, let me come around, there's a Stuart Weitzman logo. Don't know if you can see that, there we go, the SW logo. So yeah, these knee-highs, you're probably looking at around, I'm sure it's about 700 brand new, at least. So once I saw those, I thought, oh, well, I need to get myself a little bundle here. So we wanted a tenner for those, picked up the boots, had them over my arm, then I noticed these. Let's get these closer. Gucci. Some Gucci mules. And again, looking at the quality of the manufacturer, the way that the soles are constructed, I could tell these were genuine. So once I'd seen these and I knew these were genuine, pretty sure that Stuart Weitzman's were genuine, I then had to look at everything in a little more detail on his table. So I started putting together a bundle. I ended up picking up these Gucci mules, Stuart Weitzman knee-high boots, Max Mara, and then I picked up this, and it is a Giuseppe Zanotti little clutch. Now unfortunately I didn't realise that the strap is missing. See a little rhinestones there. So I don't know if you'll be able to see the logo. So I picked up those 4 items, and he wanted 25 for those, and I said, would you take 20 for the 4? He was like, yep, go on in. And that's when we got chatting, and he'd mentioned about this millionaire wife who was clearing out her stuff. These, so effectively I've paid £5 each for them. These I've seen sell for, in good condition, these are warm, but I'll make them look good. In good condition, they've gone for over 500 through Vestiaire Collective. So some of this high-end stuff, I'm probably going to send to them because they authenticate it, which means you get a higher value, a higher chance of getting a higher sale price, but they take a higher percentage than eBay. However, I'm happy to pay someone a higher percentage if they can get me a higher sale price. So you've got to look at the math and see what works out. But these have gone for over 500 before. These Stuart Weitzmans in this condition. So again, effectively I paid a £5. I would have thought that on eBay probably 200 plus, but through Vestiaire Collective I would have thought I would get closer to 350, maybe even 4. So that's good. I just took a punt on the Max Mara's, didn't even look up comps. I still haven't looked them up now. I just know for the fact that I've sold Max Mara dresses before and I've got good money on them, that I took a punt on those. And again, I've never picked up any Giuseppe Zanotti before, but looking at the construction, I took a punt that it was real. The leather feels very, very fine. Feels like almost like a lambskin, very, very fine leather. But there's no strap for that, so I don't know. So I need to do a little bit of research on that. But yeah, that I've seen bags go for anywhere between 50 and 150 second hand, so I don't know how that works without any. I think with anything that you can prove some sort of authenticity, you're going to get a higher price. But again, potentially if I send this off to Vestiaire Collective, they can authenticate it and then I'll be able to get a higher price. But £5 out for each of those items, and we're looking at quite a few £100 back. Now, now on to the main thing. I still can't quite get my head around this. This is the good bit, by the way. Basically, at the same table, so I bought these, and so I knew I'd got some bankers in, I'd got some good items, and I thought, right, let's have a look a little bit closer at whatever is on this table. Something that I'd seen earlier, but I hadn't really paid too much attention. I'd noticed there's a couple of these bags, jewellery bags. The name seemed familiar, but I wasn't 100% sure. And then there was these earrings, and I thought, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a split screen or put picture in picture so you can see a close up, because there's no point in me getting up there. So you can see exactly what I've got here. Now, I don't know a lot about jewellery, and I tend to, I'll have a look, but I don't know enough. But what I do know is spotting quality. Hence why I'm good at telling when most items, whether they're genuine or not, because I take notice and learn how quality manufacturing is done, how goods are made, because once you know that, you can apply that to many other things. So now, once I know how one good quality pair of shoes is made, I can apply that knowledge to everything. Same with dresses, shirts, whatever. Electronics. I don't know a lot about jewellery, but I could see these looked expensive. At first, I thought these were just an asymmetrical pair. You get one that's got this little round bauble and one that's got a shard. I'm a wally. That's just a broken one of these. So that is why other people have been picking them up, putting them down, walking off. They've been looking at it closely, and when they walked off, I went back over, picked them up, and then went back to where I was holding them, so I had them in my hand while I was looking. And one of the things I noticed on the bag, it says the brand, so Di Grosso Gono. And I don't know the name, but it seemed familiar maybe. But underneath it says Geneva. Geneva, Switzerland, known for Swiss bank accounts and also for jewellery. And it just made me think, oh, okay, maybe that bag belongs to these. So getting it up close, I could see on the back, again, as I said, there was very, very high quality way that it's put together. Just the way that the stone at the top is held in its clasp looked expensive. The manufacturing of the clip, so clipping it onto your ear, looked expensive. It looked like almost like a rose gold, and the shiny that's underneath, I thought, I don't know, are these diamonds? I don't really know. I bought one diamond ever, and that was my wife's engagement ring. I spent a lot of time learning about diamonds, but these are so small, and I didn't have a loupe or a magnifying glass, so I had to take a punt. But I noticed on the back, it did say, I'm going to have to read it again because I'm going to get the name wrong, Di Grosso Gono. I'll stick a title at the bottom so you can see what it is. And it's on there, so straight away I'm thinking, okay, that might be real, that's related. And it's not often I'll take a punt on something like this, but I was holding on to them, and the guy was saying that it was a clearance from a millionaire's home, which seems an odd thing. Didn't know if I should believe that, but the fact that I had a couple of pairs of shoes and boots and bags that I know cost a lot of money, hundreds, like £700 upwards, that these potentially could be very expensive. So I held them in my hand, looking around at the rest of the table, fiddling through the rest of the jewellery, nothing else looked. The guy was saying, that's not gold, that's not gold, that's not gold. And he didn't mention whether these were gold or not, but the others he said, that's not gold, that's not gold. So I'm holding on to these, realised that the bag was similar, had the same name, kind of things started making sense. And I'd asked how much he wanted, and he said £100. I don't know enough about jewellery to take a punt on £100, but there was just something about these that felt right to take a punt. And I'd also noticed these shoes on the table. And he'd already done me a deal without really blinking. He'd knocked off a decent amount when I bought those shoes and really massively underpriced them. He wanted 40 for these. These are Chanel. These very fine leather, I'd say probably lamb or goat leather again. Leather sole, leather lining. And on the back, you've got what looks like a pearl with Chanel double interlock C on the back. And again, knowing good quality materials and manufacturing, I thought, Jesus, these are expensive. And I sell a lot of high-end shoes because the margins are brilliant. And I can immediately tell these were the real deal. And Gucci's and that sort of thing, you're looking at your £500 upwards. Your Jimmy Choos, you're looking at £500 upwards. Chanel, you're probably looking at £700 to £1,000 new. I've had a look since I've got home. I'll tell you how much I paid actually first. So what was going through my head was, if I can get a bundle deal for these earrings and these shoes, I can flip those shoes and the profit made from the shoes will pay for these. So even if I make a horrific mess up, I'll have had enough profit to pay for these and it would just be a free lesson. So I said, I think he wanted 40 for these, 100 for these. And I said, and then there was a lady who asked about these just up the table whilst I was holding. She said, what's the best price you can do on those earrings? And he said, 80. But she didn't have them in her hands. I did. So if you see something you like, especially with clothes, I usually get a pile over my arm and then try and get some sort of bundle deal. I was holding them, so she couldn't do anything. She couldn't agree. They're in my hand. So I'm holding them, knowing that he'd take 80. And I said, tell you what, because I'd already spent 20 odd quid with him. I said, how about 100 for the pair? The earrings and that. And he said, yeah, go on in. Which is fantastic. So, number one, before we look at these earrings again, you want to hang around for these. This is like genuinely like Antiques Roadshow, Fabergé egg type find, genuinely. So these heels first, over £1,000 new. I knew they were expensive, didn't know they were £1,000. So again, through somewhere like Vestiaire Collective, rather than eBay, I'll get a higher price. Through eBay, I'll get a couple of hundred for eBay. I'll probably get 180, maybe 200. Through Vestiaire, I think I could probably push for 5. So again, with the whole authentication process that they do. So I'd rather take 80% of 500 than 85% of 200. So you got to do the math and look at your options. So these potentially we're looking at eBay maybe 200, Vestiaire Collective maybe 500. I've done well. I've had an epic day in the field. When I'd bought them, took them away, the lady who'd offered him 100 or asked the price and got it down to 80, she said, would you mind if I had another look? She got out, she had a eyeglass loop to have a look. Okay, yeah, fine. So we're away from them, and then she calls her friend over to have a look. And I was saying, look, what did I say? I was saying how I don't know a lot about jewellery, but I could tell that they were well made. She said, I think you've done really, really well there, and I wish I'd picked them up earlier. So straight away I'm thinking, oh, maybe I have done all right here, maybe I haven't made a mistake. And then she got her loop and she was like, oh yeah, AU 750, so it's 18 karat gold. And it's got a tint to it, so it looks like it's rose gold. But it's not plated, this is solid. The back clasp is solid 18 karat gold. And she was saying, you've done really well there. Shame it's broken. And at the time, I was still thinking they were just asymmetric odd earrings. And she said even the gold alone, you'll make the money back on that. So the stones, you'll do well on those. Shame about the break. And then I'm down thinking, oh crap, I bought something that's got a break in it. I'm an idiot. That's what I'm thinking. And she said, you know, if you're unsure about it, because I was looking a bit unsure about it. She said, I'll give you 100 for these right now, and that means that you basically got your shoes for free. When someone offers you £100 there and then, you start thinking that she's a professional. She's obviously thinking that these are good. There's no way I'm letting them go for 100 quid. And then she called over another of her friends. So there's quite a few of these jewellery professionals out there hunting. And he had a look, he said, yeah, no, I saw those, but I left it because it was broken. So I was having an R-in, and I thought, you know, whatever happens, I know that I would get the money back with the gold. But then I got home, I've had a proper look, pulled up on the driveway, and I used Google, what's it called? There's a little Google thing where you can take a photo of something using the Google app, and it will search the catalogue of all of Google images to find the closest match, and that's really good for identifying stuff. So I did that, and immediately came up with the actual genuine original price of these, and it took me 10 minutes to gather myself together to get out of the car. I know I'm hanging this out, but I've never seen anything like this. This is absolutely absurd how much these are worth. So I've now had a look. This bottom piece is probably the cheapest bit, the bit that's broken on this one. So it's some sort of quartz ball. The little ball above it is 18 karat gold clasps with diamonds, actual diamonds in them. So each one, I haven't even counted them, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a crap load of diamonds. That's an official term, crap load. And then above it, you've got what was it called? Rhodolite garnet. And this is the big garnet. This is getting on for 1 centimetre across by 1.5 centimetres high. It's sort of like an upside down tear shape. And then you've got all the gold behind it. These new, sit down, actually sit down, these new £33,999, pound short of £34,000. £34,000. Yeah, it's broken. I got that. £34,000. I'm absolutely dumbstruck. I've had a look into the company. It's a Swiss company, and they actually went bust earlier in the year. So one of the things I was looking at was, is there the possibility of getting that ball replaced from the original manufacturer? Because even if it's a quartz ball, so this isn't the expensive part, the rest of it I assume is the really expensive part. Maybe the quartz ball is expensive, but even if it cost me £1,000 to get that fixed, and then let's say I sell it for half of its RRP, that could be £16,000 before tax and fees. So I've got a lot of thinking to do. So even if this was not possible to replace it, it could be taken to somewhere like Hatton Gardens and the jewellers there, and the parts could be broken down. The rose gold would be used for something else, the diamonds would be taken out and reset into something, and these massive garnets would be reset into something else. So just for the stones alone, I'm not an expert, but there's quite a few little diamonds here, and I've looked on the website, even though they've gone bust, I could find information on the Grossegono. So yeah, these are real diamonds, and I haven't counted them yet. What I'll do, I'll count them and I'll stick a thing underneath. Yeah, the diamonds could be worth, in my head, I don't want to say a couple of hundred, they could be worth thousands. So this is by far the most expensive thing I've ever found at a car boot sale, and I generally do quite well. It could be said I've been very, very lucky today, and I have been very, very lucky. But I have put myself in a position where I'm going to be luckier than the average person. I get up at 5 something on a Sunday morning and a Saturday morning, and I make sure that I'm not, you know, the first reseller at the car boot. I'm there early. I spend a good 2 hours going around. I'll go around again, and I will methodically look for very, very specific things. I have made the effort to learn how to spot quality and be ruthless with my purchases. Not so much last year. As I've progressed, I've been more and more ruthless and being more and more focused. But one of the biggest things I've learned is doing research. So if you've seen my Become a Better Reseller series of videos, I'm very, very into learning about new niches where I want to be a goddamn expert in everything, so that if there's a bolo, whether it's a bolo of a golf club, bolo of a Wii game, bolo of a pair of shoes, bolo of a belt, bolo of a piece of West German pottery, bolo of a specific Disney stuffed toy that's worth 100 quid, I want to know every damn bolo. There are 2 ways of doing it. You either do it through experience, which takes years. You watch people on YouTube where you're going to learn more bolos than just by doing it for experience, but it is only going to be through random luck of what someone else has picked up. Or you can get off your bum and you can learn to research specific areas, widen your breadth and depth of your knowledge so that you can become a walking encyclopedia. I'm not there yet, but I'm learning constantly. And by putting myself in a position where I spend time learning how things are made, learning about materials, learning about manufacturing techniques, I can spot quality. And even though I knew pretty much damn nothing about these, I could tell it was worth a punt. But I hedged my bets. If I'd have just spent the 80 quid on these and it had all gone wrong, it's a lot of money down the drain. Not specifically because I bought something at the same stall, but by buying a lot of different types of items, I've spread my risks. That if I have screwed up on this, or make the money back elsewhere, it wouldn't be ideal. No one likes to make a mistake. But by spreading my risks, I've got that as a backup. And on occasion, you will get something good. For me, I tend to get good margins on clothes and shoes. That's my expertise. I learn about other areas. This is, it's unheard of. I don't know about unheard of, but yeah, I had to pay up for them. So let's allocate 75 quid to these, because if these were meant to be 40, let's chalk it up. So 65, 75 quid for these that potentially were worth £34,000 new. I still don't know. Yeah, I'm still lost for words. So things I need to do: find out what the components are worth separately at local jewellers, quality jewellers, so that at least I know, should I need to part them out, what value it is, which I'm hoping still would be in the thousands potentially. But if I can get that replaced, the broken one replaced, let's say it's even half the cost of the originals, that could be incredible. Things I don't, because the company's gone bust, does that mean that the value of these is going to go up in the future? or does it mean that no one's ever heard of it and the value goes down? I don't know. So there's a lot I need to still look and learn about. But yeah, all I can say is that if you want to do well at reselling, you're not saying you're just going to find these, but spend some time researching and learning stuff. If you haven't seen my Become a Better Reseller videos, please check them out, and you will see the technique I use. So whilst I've only got a couple of the videos up there, and they may not be something that you really want to learn about, watch them just so you can see the technique I use, and that way you can apply that technique of research to anything you want to learn to sell and to find BOLOs in. You can do it that way. So please have a look at those. But yeah, I've had rather a good day. So thank you for your patience and watching this to the end. But yeah, I don't know, maybe I should do a little happy dance now I've got these. So yeah, thank you for your time. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. I do try and make sure my videos are educational so that you learn how to find better deals and higher quality items to make you higher profits. So please do check out my other videos. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. Please add a comment in if you wouldn't mind. What's the best amazing thing that you've ever found at a car boot sale? I'd be really interested to see what you've found. Please also like this video, it does help the algorithm. And again, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. My name is Lee and you have been watching me on Code Flipper. See you next time. Are you ready to do the happy dance?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Go, happy dance.